Good morning. One of the most important appointments a Prime Minister can make is to the Supreme Court, the ultimate arbiter of Canada's laws. And with Chief Justice Beverley McLachlin stepping down next month, Justin Trudeau has a chance to shape the court in two ways: first, by choosing a new justice to join the bench, and second, by choosing which of the current 8 puisne judges will be elevated to chief. The only requirements for Supreme Court justices are that 3 of 9 come from Quebec, and that they have served either on the bench of a superior court or for 10 years at the bar. The rest is convention, though the conventions are powerful. When Mr. Trudeau last year considered leaving the top court without an Atlantic representative, the legal community howled and the Prime Minister appointed Malcolm Rowe of Newfoundland and Labrador. Story continues below advertisement. In picking a new justice, Mr. Trudeau will almost certainly follow regional convention by choosing another jurist from British Columbia to replace Chief Justice McLachlin, who has served in that role since 1989. He is also, Globe Justice writer Sean Fine reports, strongly considering appointing the first Indigenous Supreme Court judge. In picking a Chief Justice, Mr. Trudeau may choose which convention to follow. Since the Second World War, Chief Justices have generally alternated between Anglophones and Francophones, and were usually the most senior member of the top court at the time of their appointments. Usually, those two conventions have pointed to the same person. But not on the current court. As Mr. Fine writes today, the Prime Minister is choosing between the relatively conservative Justice Richard Wagner, 60, of Quebec, who would uphold the first convention, and the more liberal Justice Rosalie Abella, 71, of Ontario, who would uphold the second. This is the Daily Politics Briefing newsletter, written by Chris Hannay in Ottawa and James Keller in Vancouver. If you're reading this on the web or someone forwarded this email newsletter to you, you can sign up for Politics Briefing and all Globe newsletters here. Have any feedback? Let us know what you think. We've launched a new Top Business Evening Edition newsletter providing a summary of the biggest business headlines of the day. Sign up for it and more than a dozen other Globe newsletters here. Today's headlines: the Liberal government will unveil its national housing strategy today, which is expected to provide direct assistance to low-income Canadians for their rent. It will also provide billions of dollars in investment in affordable housing. The strategy is not expected to directly tackle the issue of steeply rising real estate costs in major Canadian cities, however. The 5th round of North American Free Trade Agreement talks have wrapped up in Mexico City, and sources tell the Globe that Canada's pitch to the U.S. was that their protectionist demands on auto would backfire and hurt the domestic industry. The 6th round is scheduled to be held in Montreal in January. Story continues below advertisement.